Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video we are going to be looking at Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord. The game was developed by Idea Factory, Sting and Compile Heart and is published by Idea Factory International. Before we begin, there's two important subjects to bring up. First, there's no English dub for this game. It's upsetting and there could be various reasons as to why there isn't one, but it still shouldn't ruin your enjoyment of this game. Second, is it censored? There's been a lot of issues as of late with Idea Factory. We've had Mary Skelter 2 be released censored, and then 2 weeks later be uncensored. We've had Sisters vs Sisters come out fine enough, but then a month later be force censored. With this game, they've released the console ports early and then the PC port a month later. I'm not really sure why. However, at the time of this video, I can tell you that there doesn't appear to be any censorship. However, the tone has clearly been toned down a bit from the past previous games. Here's more info in the review. If you've played the past previous Fairy Fencer games before, then this one might puzzle you, because the past previous games wrapped everything up with its story in all of its various endings. This game's plot seems to start off during the past game, but cuts off at the part just before you meet Pippin and just before you start fighting Ethel. That's because this isn't really a sequel, but yet again another retelling of the first game. Again. It's rather disappointing because I was hoping for a sequel, but instead it's just the first game all over again, but with a slightly different plot. And what's worse is, if you have never played the past previous game, then the story won't make much sense to you, because there's a lot of parts within this game which reference the other game, and if you've missed that, then you won't really know what certain characters are talking about, or the events which they're even going on about, because you have no idea what they even are. With Refrain Chord's cast, I am torn. I'm happy to see everybody from the past previous game make a return, but at the same time a part of the magic of what made them is gone with the lack of a dub. I'm also torn because whilst I like the original characters, this game introduces new ones, and in my opinion, they're all absolutely awful. The way the story introduces them, makes them out to be this or that, then completely ignores what that did at the start, and then forces these characters onto the group, where they just seem to add nothing. Advent Dark Force introduced characters like Mariana and others who had a backstory, you could understand their reasonings and motive, you felt the tension with them within the group, and then you would believe them when they came over to your side. Those characters felt as if they really added something to the story and the gameplay. These new characters don't do that, and in all honesty they just kind of feel rushed and almost as if they've not been planned out very well. Refrain Chord plays very differently from the previous game. Whilst Advent Dark Force was a turn-based JRPG, this one changes things dramatically and is tactical turn-based, just like how the Disgaea games are, and it is different, I will be honest. I did like it at first, and I really did enjoy the new system for the first 2 days of playing the game. However, you then start to notice that almost every battle plays the same, and is a long drawn out process of character A sings one of her 2 songs, character B sings one of her 7 songs, you buff your character stats and stay where you are, wait for enemies to gather around you, do avalanche attack, and then finish everything off with the Fairyrise moves. Fairy Fencer's graphics are split into 2 halves. The visual novel has stayed the same, the combat has changed its appearance a little bit. You'll notice from looking at the video that the style isn't exactly chibi, but it's not normal either. It's almost like it's a 70-30 split. Since the game is now turn-based tactical, the environments have changed. Before, we would explore a dungeon, encounter enemies, and then fight. Instead with this game, we no longer explore dungeons, or even have encounters. Instead, we get given a location to go to, go there, fight a battle, that's basically it now as far as exploration goes. The rest of the game's visual novel aspects are still here, as is a new style of world map sword stabbing, but yeah, it feels like we've lost something quite important here. Refrain Chord does a lot of stuff that is different. The new gameplay style is simple and easy to get into, but as I have already mentioned, it is extremely repetitive, and you'll pretty much just always end up using the same tactic. I do miss the dungeon exploring, and that being missing feels like a big chunk of the game is also missing. It's also a chunk that added another layer to the game, and with that gone, it just feels like you're getting less. I do like the game and its characters, and I have been enjoying parts of it. I just don't feel like this game is anywhere near on the same level that Advent Dark Force was. Well, that's it for this video guys. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.